You haven't lived until you make this. Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite sandwiches. I call it my go-to poo sandwich. We are making, think of BLT, the BLT vibe, but we're going to add some turkey. We're adding mozz because obviously we're doing a homemade mayo, because you've got to walk away from this video with like having to actually learn something you'll grab onto forever. Although the combination of the sandwich is so exquisite, you're going to make it all year long, no matter what you've got going on. Something you need to know about me is that I love, love, love sandwiches. They make me salivate. I think the combination of texture and different flavors is just phenomenal. And if you're gonna be having picnics, going to the beach, people over at the pool, whatever, you can make a ton of these in the large baguettes and just cut them into pieces, and then you've got something that will feed a crowd so happily. So let's get started, because we've got a few things to knock out. I cannot wait to share with you how I make my mayo, but the first thing I'm gonna do is make my bacon. Now, because I'm going to toast my bread right on the griddle, I'm gonna make my bacon on the griddle. Typically, I would make my bacon in the oven because I just find it to be a whole lot easier, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna do it on the griddle today, and it's fine. I like to start with not the thickest kind of bacon, but I also don't like paper thin see-through bacon. And it's gonna be pretty phenomenal. Just you wait. I'm like literally cannot wait for you to make the sandwich because I find it to be revolutionary. Let's talk mayo. Homemade mayo is wildly simple. My method for homemade mayo is even simpler. It is going to be the most foolproof, the most delicious, the easiest recipe. It takes 60 seconds, whether you make it in a jar with an immersion blender like I like to do, or in a food processor. It takes 60 seconds, and it's the all-one method. And I will show you what that means. So first thing you need to know, first of all, I'm trying to grab a tablespoon. The first thing you need to know, and if you didn't know this already, you know now, mayo, homemade mayo, is made with a raw egg. So use an egg you feel comfortable about, whether it's a farm fresh egg, store-bought egg, whatever egg you like to use. Make sure it's one you feel comfortable using, because you're not cooking this. And before you think this is my spin on it, it isn't. The egg is going to act as the emulsifier, because when you add oil to basically water, it doesn't mix, right? It splits. So you need to emulsify that oil, and the egg acts as your emulsifier. So in a wide mouth jar, you want to make sure it's a wide mouth jar. You're going to take an egg, all one ratio. So one egg, okay? To the one egg, you're going to add 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. You're going to add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Some people like to use, which is typically half of a juicy lemon. Some people like to use vinegar. I have always used lemon and just lemon, and it works perfect. So 1 tablespoon of that. You're gonna need a good pinch of salt, about a teaspoon for every cup or so of oil. And I use coarse kosher salt. And then you're gonna add your oil. This is avocado oil. I don't like to use a strong extra virgin olive oil for this. If I were to use an olive oil for this, I would use a light olive oil, because if it's too strong, it's way too pungent of a flavor. So you're gonna add that in. And now I wanna show you, what do you have here? You have something that's completely split. You've got your base with your egg, and then you've got your oil on top, and we have to emulsify the two together. This is really important that you pay attention, because I'm going to turn this on, and for about 30 seconds, I'm not doing anything. I'm just keeping it where it is, okay? Because it's starting to emulsify that egg. And I'm going to do that for about 30 seconds. And then after about 30 seconds, you're going to gently move your immersion blender up and down. And you see how it's starting to come together? It builds a perfectly creamy mayo. That's how you emulsify your oil with your egg. Bacon looks great. You can make it go as crispy or as non-crispy as you like, but trust me, that is perfect. And now as this cools, it'll crisp up. Now, before you come for me, I am going to I know you guys are going to get mad. I am going to get rid of this bacon fat because I don't want to toast my bread in that, because then it just tastes all of bacon, and I don't want that. I want to leave that as is. The mayo, I'm telling you, you'll never get a better mayo. Is it worth making every time? Probably not. Do I make it every time? No. But for a special occasion, or if you want to know what it's like to make your own mayo, you want to have your own mayo recipe so that you can rely on something that you know exactly what's in it, it is the best. It is the easiest. It's an all-to-one ratio. Works every single time. And now that we have that done, I am going to get rid of that bacon fat. In the meantime, I'm just taking, this is like a baguette from a local bakery. You can use French bread, you can use regular baguette, you can use whatever your heart desires. I'm just doing half because there's only 2 of us today, and trust me when I tell you, we will be eating the entire thing. So I split that in half. I'm gonna just get rid of that bacon fat and get this going with a little bit of olive oil so that I can get it toasted. Because one of the things that make really good sandwiches, texture. Don't want sogginess. Sogginess is not welcome here. You heard it here first. Need some of that mayo. To the mayo, I'm gonna add a little bit of pesto. Now, you know we've made pesto together many, many times. So if you go to my website, you will find the recipe for homemade pesto, basil pesto. Give that a little stir-maroo, like that. And then just set this aside. And now you've got your delicious spread that really would be delicious on just about any single thing you want to make in your entire life. Whether it's, you know, sandwiches, wraps, clubs, whatever. To your bread that you have split in half, you're going to add a little bit of olive oil. You don't have to toast your bread if you don't want to. I just simply think that toasted bread makes for a much more superior sandwich because, again, texture. I love texture. Why is that back one turned off? Turning that back on. Let that toast up and do wonderful things. And in the meantime, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take these beautiful, beautiful tomatoes and I'm going to slice them. I'm going to use a serrated knife. Not too thin, not too thick, but just have them ready because everything else, I'm also going to slice my mozz as well because everything else is pretty much ready to go. All right. That looks spectacular, okay? I only do the cut side, by the way. I don't bother doing the top side because it's already crispy. You know what I mean? If it was soft, I would probably do both. Then you take a little bit of your delicious mayo. I do a thin layer. I don't like thick layers of everything because then I feel like, again, it's such a personal preference, but you gotta know. And if you follow me on Instagram, we talk all the time. I am weird in many ways. I don't like thick layers of things because then I feel like my mouth is so consumed with so much food. I don't know why I'm laughing at myself. It's so consumed by so much food that I simply just can't really enjoy the eating process. Does that make sense? And get in those crannies, okay? Because I'm not playing that. I'm not playing them games, okay? A nice thin, delicious little layer like that. Then I like a little mozz, okay? This mozz is really nice and soft and creamy and delicious. And I'm telling you, it is gonna be like, mwah. You need you need to season every bit of your layers, okay? Because there's no point in having mozz if it's not well seasoned. You know, if it's not well seasoned, I don't want it. Then I take my turkey. I like it nice and thin. You could do ham. You can do turkey. You can do some prosciutto here. Although I don't like the prosciutto with the bacon. So again, do what you like. I love turkey here. And I kind of take each slice. You see how the slices are thin, but they're, you know, you sort of pile them up like that. And then that way you can get a good amount. Each bite has a good amount, but it's not too much. Because, you know, we've discussed how I feel about too many big things. Too many thick layers, I mean. Then I take some maters, okay? I love a yummy tomato. You can do this in however your heart desires in terms of layering. I'm just going to do it like this for now because I don't want too much. Again, salt those tomatoes because those tomatoes are going to be so bland. You're going to be like, what is the point of those? Then you take your bacon. And when you make this once, you'll see why it's like a go-to. Everybody loves it. That's good bacon. Everybody loves it. It's got a little bit of everything for everybody. Okay. Now, let's pièce de résistance. I'm going to move this out of the way. A little bit of green. I'm just going to use some spinach because I have it. Never put undressed greens onto your salad because we're not animals, okay? A little lemon, a little olive oil, a little bit of salad. Tossy toss. Doesn't that look so much more appealing? Come on now. And just you wait until I put a lid on this and then squidge it all together. It's sublime. Okay, let me move things out of the way. Look at this guy. Look at that fella. It is so beautiful. I'm in love, okay? I'm in love. I have these really tall, I was gonna call them Q-tips. They're not Q-tips. Please don't call them Q-tips. They're so nice. I got them in a big pack. And then, dun, dun, dun. I don't know why I did it that way, but it kind of helps to hold everything together. And then look, when you cut your smaller sandwiches, let me show you. Oh, that little guy. Look at that. You know you want to eat that, okay? You know that has your name written all over it, okay? And listen, if you're gonna do something right, you gotta do everything right, down to your sandwich. There's extra bacon. Oh, look at this one. That one right there. That's spectacular. Okay, I'm gonna go for a bite. I'm gonna go for this one. Oh, I'm gonna put some bacon back in here because I cut it out. Hang tight. Oh my. You have not lived until you've had this. And it's probably all over my face. But I don't care. This is what summer dreams are made of. This is what I want you to experience. If you're gonna make a sandwich, make it the best. A BLT has never tasted so good. Go to laurainthekitchen.com. I will have everything written for you, including the measurements for the mayo and all that. Must have. Hope you enjoyed spending time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.